They say Lagos is a city that wears two faces. One glitters with promise, gold towers, shining cars, laughter spilling from rooftop bars. The other hides beneath it, a shadowed city that feeds on sweat, noise, and broken dreams. To survive Lagos is to walk between those two faces and pretend they are one. And in the heart of that city, at the edge of Idumota Market, where the air smells of roasted plantain and exhaust fumes, lived Chiamaka Eze, a woman whose heart was as generous as her pockets were empty. Chiamaka was 28, tall and graceful in a way that Lagos dust could not dim. Her skin carried the deep brown glow of the earth after rain. Her smile could calm chaos, and in Lagos, that was no small thing. Every morning before dawn, she tied her wrapper, swept her small buka, and whispered a short prayer. God, bless the work of my hands and the hunger of those who eat from them. Her restaurant, Chiamaka's Pot of Promise, was nothing more than a roadside shack. Zinc roof, wooden benches, the sound of frying oil and gospel songs crackling from a cheap radio. But to the tired conductors, market women, and Okada riders, it was home. She was known for feeding even those who couldn't pay. A hungry man, she always said, should not carry shame. Yet when night came, and she locked up the shop, her heart carried its own hunger, the hunger of dreams. Sometimes she would walk to the third mainland bridge and watch the distant glow of Victoria Island, where lights sparkled on the water like stars that had fallen and refused to die. She would whisper softly to the wind, "One day, my food will feed the rich," and the wind, mischievous as Lagos itself, would laugh and carry her words into the unknown. For fate, as the elders say, is always listening.
It was a Thursday, the kind of day when the sky frowns with gray clouds and the smell of rain sits heavy in the air. The market was restless, traders shouting, horns blaring, the usual Lego symphony of chaos. Chiamaka was dishing rice and beans to a group of Danfo drivers when she heard a weak voice behind her. "My daughter, please, can I eat?" She turned. A beggar stood there, old, frail, his clothes torn beyond mending. Dust clung to his beard like cobwebs. In his hand was a wooden staff, cracked from age and travel. Her customers laughed. One of them, a man with oil-stained hands, sneered, "Baba, go to church jar. Even Jesus no dey feed people for free again." The others roared with laughter. But Chiamaka didn't join them. She looked into the old man's eyes, and for a heartbeat saw something strange. Behind the weariness, there was light, a quiet, watchful intelligence. Without a word, she scooped a plate, hot jollof rice, 2 pieces of meat, plantain fried golden. She placed it before him. "Eat, Papa. No one should beg to live." The old man smiled, though his lips trembled. "You give like one who has never lost." She only nodded. He ate slowly, quietly, the rain beginning to fall around them, first as mist, then as silver drops. When he was done, he looked up at her and said, "Kindness is a seed. You will see what grows." Before she could reply, thunder rolled, and the man was gone, vanished into the rain like he had melted into it. That night Chiamaka dreamed of him standing by a river of light, dipping his staff into the water. Each time he lifted it, droplets turned to coins. He said, "Kindness is a seed, but some seeds grow into destiny." She woke up trembling, the sound of his voice still echoing in her mind.
The next week, life began to unravel. First, her supplier accused her of owing him 120,000 naira, a debt she'd paid weeks before. Then the refrigerator broke down, spoiling half her meat. 2 loyal customers stopped coming. She tried to stay strong, whispering prayers between tears. But Lagos is a city that tests faith the way the ocean tests a swimmer. by pulling harder each time you tried to breathe. Still, she kept feeding the hungry. Every evening, she gave food to the blind man who sang by the bus stop and to a young hawker with torn slippers. The neighbors called her foolish. "This your goodness no go put money for your pocket," they'd say. She would smile faintly and reply, "If I stop giving, maybe my heart will die before my body." One night, as she closed her stall, a woman approached, elderly, graceful, her head wrapped in deep blue aso-oke. Her eyes gleamed with something beyond age. It was Mama Ifeoma, the prophet, known to see what others feared to speak. She said softly, "Chiamaka Eze, the man you fed was no ordinary beggar. His eyes are upon you still, but beware. Kindness is the first test. The second comes dressed in wealth." Chiamaka froze. "Mama, I don't understand." The old woman smiled, placed a white cowrie shell on the table, and whispered, "You will." Then she disappeared into the darkness, her wrapper fluttering like smoke. Far across the city, where the lagoon kissed glass towers and wealth hummed in the air, another story was unfolding. Inside a vast mansion in Banana Island, lit by chandeliers that looked like captured stars, an elderly man sat before a boardroom table. He was Chief Obadiegwu Arinze, a name that carried power in banks, oil fields, and politics. Yet behind his sharp eyes was a secret known only to his bloodline. Every year, for 7 days, Chief Arinze disappeared from his world of marble and money. He walked the streets of Lagos disguised as a beggar, his son and staff forbidden to follow. He called it the testing of hearts. "Wealth," he once told his son, "is like fire. It burns the wicked, but it also tests the kind. I must know if kindness still lives in this city of gold and dust." And this year, for the first time in a long while, he had found it, in a young woman who gave food to a stranger with no expectation of reward. He had eaten her rice and seen her soul, and the weight of her kindness haunted him. Now he sat before his son, Toby Arinze, a tall, ambitious young man with eyes too used to luxury. "Toby," the old man said, "I met a woman, humble, pure of heart. I want you to test her." Toby frowned. "Test her? How?" "Win her trust. Pretend to be one of her customers. If she values wealth more than humanity, you'll know." Toby chuckled. "Father, with respect, Lagos women don't marry kindness. They marry opportunity." Chief Arinze's gaze hardened. "Then find out if she's different." And so the game began. 2 weeks after Mama Ifeoma's warning, Chiamaka noticed a new face among her customers. A well-dressed young man, clean suit, deep voice, wristwatch that gleamed like temptation. He ordered pepper soup the first day, jollof rice the next. Then he began to linger. "Your food is special," he said one afternoon, smiling. It's ordinary, sir," Chiamaka replied shyly. "No," he said. "It tastes like hope." His name, he said, was Toby. He worked for an NGO that helped small businesses. He listened to her talk about her struggles, her dreams of owning a proper restaurant, and her mother's illness back in Enugu. And every time he left, he dropped generous tips, 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira, folded carefully into napkins. Soon, the market women started whispering, "Chiamaka done catch big fish, oh? See as God dey bless her kindness." But Chiamaka wasn't so easily swayed. Her mother had always said, "When good fortune knocks too hard, ask which spirit sent it." Still, her heart betrayed her. Toby was kind, attentive, respectful, and his eyes carried a sadness that made her want to heal him. That night, she dreamed again of the beggar by the river of gold. This time, he said only one line,
When gold comes, test it with fire. She woke with sweat on her skin and fear in her heart.
Weeks turned into months. Toby became part of her days, helping her serve food, fixing her broken freezer, walking her home after market hours. He spoke softly, but his words planted seeds. "You deserve more than this street, Chiamaka. I could help you open a real restaurant, in Lekki, maybe." Then, one rainy evening, he came to her shop drenched, eyes wild. "Chiamaka," he said, "my father wants me to marry a rich man's daughter. He says a woman like you will bring shame." Her breath caught. "Who is your father?" "Chief Obidiegwu Arinza." The name hit her like thunder, the same name that ruled the billboards and headlines. She stepped back, voice trembling. "You mean that Chief Arinza?" "Yes," Toby said bitterly. "But I don't care about his empire. I care about you. Let's leave Lagos, start afresh. Ghana, maybe. I have money saved." The rain beat harder against the zinc roof. She hesitated. To leave Lagos meant leaving her mother's memory, her dreams, her roots. But love can be a storm. Once it starts, it doesn't ask permission to flood your life. And so she whispered, "All right, I'll go with you." He smiled, relief washing over his face. "Meet me at the airport, Saturday by 9 a.m. Bring nothing but hope." When he left, Chiamaka sat alone, staring at the flickering candle. The beggar's words echoed again in her mind. "When gold comes, test it with fire." But she was too in love to understand the warning. Saturday came. Chiamaka arrived at the airport wearing her best Ankara dress and carrying a small Ghana must-go bag, everything she owned inside. She waited and waited. The clock struck 9, then 10, then noon. No Toby. She tried his number. Switched off. She waited until the sun sank and the airport lights flickered on. Still, no one came. By the time she returned home, her landlord had padlocked her stall. A new tenant was already painting over her signboard. She sank by the roadside, rain falling again as if the heavens themselves mourned her. Then, a black SUV pulled up beside her. Its tinted window slid down. Out stepped the old beggar. Except, he was not old anymore. He stood tall, dressed in flowing white agbada, his staff now bold-tipped, his beard trimmed. The air around him shimmered with quiet authority. The onlookers gasped. Some whispered, "Na spirit be that?" Others knelt instinctively. He walked up to Chiamaka and said, "My child, did I not say kindness is a seed?" Her heart froze. "Papa, it's you?" He nodded. "It is I, Chief Obidiegwu Arinza." The world around her blurred. You mean you were the beggar?" He smiled softly. "Yes, I walk the streets every year to test hearts, and yours shone brightest." Her tears mixed with the rain. "But Toby, he is my son," the chief said gently. "I sent him to test your heart again. The first test was kindness. The second, loyalty. The final, patience." She trembled. "So, it was all a lie?" "No," said another voice. From the SUV stepped Toby, no longer in designer suits, but in a simple shirt and jeans. He fell to his knees before her. "Forgive me, Chiamaka. I thought it was just a game, but somewhere in the test, I fell in love for real." She looked at him through tears, torn between love and betrayal. Chief Arenze watched them in silence, then said, "You passed, Chiamaka Ize. You fed a beggar with compassion, and you forgave a liar with grace. Now see what kindness earns in a world of greed." He handed her a golden envelope. Inside was a deed, a restaurant space in Lekki, fully paid. She fell to her knees weeping. The old man smiled. Use it well. Feed others as you fed me. But never forget, the gods still test hearts.
Months later, Chiamaka's pot of gold opened in Lekki Phase 1. Marble floors, warm lights, music drifting through the air. On the opening day, crowds came. Journalists, influencers, even ministers. But Chiamaka reserved 10 plates for strangers every day. Beggars, hawkers, street kids, she fed them all before closing. People said her food carried luck, that those who ate it found fortune or peace. When asked why she did it, she would smile and say, "Because once I fed a beggar and found my life." And yet, every night after closing, she felt watched. Sometimes in the restaurant's reflection, she saw the beggar again. The old version, staff in hand, eyes full of knowing, watching her silently. Years passed. Chief Arinze died peacefully in his sleep, and the city mourned him like a king. Chiamaka and Toby married soon after. They ran the Arinze Foundation together, helping small traders and widows across Nigeria. But destiny, like Lagos traffic, never stays still. One rainy night, she returned home from a charity event to find a note slipped under her door. The paper was old, yellowed, and written in trembling ink. Kindness is a seed, but beware, not all who come hungry seek food. Some seek your soul. Her body chilled. She rushed to the restaurant, only to find a lone beggar waiting at the door, face hidden, trembling. "Mama Chiamaka," he whispered, "can I eat?" She took him inside and served him food, heart pounding. But when she turned to hand him the plate, he was gone. Only a white cowrie shell remained, gleaming under the dim light. Then thunder cracked. For a split second, lightning flashed across the glass window, revealing the reflection of the old beggar smiling back at her. His voice filled the room. The first test was of kindness, the second of love, the third is of fear. The lights flickered, and when they came back on, the restaurant was empty. Only the cowrie shell lay on the table, glowing softly like a heartbeat. To this day, no one knows what became of Chiamaka Eze. Some say she lives quietly in Enugu, feeding orphans under a mango tree. Others swear her restaurant still opens at midnight, though no one is ever seen cooking. But every time the Lagos wind blows hard at night, carrying the smell of jollof and rain, those who listen closely say they can hear a voice whisper through the streets. Kindness is a seed, but beware, not all who come hungry seek food. Some seek your soul. And somewhere in that wind, a softer voice answers, trembling, human, eternal. The beggar she fed is still watching. I hope you liked the video. If so, comment what you learned and don't forget to like and subscribe for more enchanting video like this one. Thank you.